Examples of global leadership in business in America. Introduction. The United States as a hub of global business leadership. Global leadership in business is the ability to strategically guide organizations beyond national boundaries while managing complexity, fostering innovation, and navigating cultural diversity. The United States has long been a breeding ground for global business leaders, who shape not only their industries, but also global economic norms. These leaders do more than maximize profits. They influence geopolitical strategy, international labor standards, technology ethics, environmental policy, and the very architecture of globalization. This essay explores exemplary American business leaders who have demonstrated transformative global leadership across technology, finance, manufacturing, consumer goods, and healthcare. 1. Satya Nadella. Microsoft, empathy-driven global tech leadership. Since taking over as CEO of Microsoft in 2014, Satya Nadella has been credited with revitalizing one of the world's most influential technology companies. Under his leadership, Microsoft shifted from a Windows-centric model to a global cloud-first, AI-driven company. Nadella embraced cultural intelligence, learning agility, and inclusive leadership as key drivers of innovation and cross-border collaboration. Global impact. Expanded Microsoft Azure, which now powers governments, hospitals, and businesses globally, fostered partnerships with institutions in Asia, Africa, and Europe to promote digital inclusion, prioritized ethical AI, digital accessibility, and sustainability. Nadella exemplifies transformational leadership in a multicultural, post-industrial world, redefining Microsoft as a platform for global empowerment, rather than a monopolistic tech giant. 2. Tim Cook, Apple Inc. Global supply chain mastery and privacy leadership. As CEO since 2011, Tim Cook has guided Apple through its most profitable era. While expanding its global footprint, Cook's strategic vision balances hyper-efficient global supply chains, particularly in Asia, with a firm stance on privacy rights and environmental responsibility. Key global contributions. Oversees one of the most complex and efficient global logistics networks, expanded retail and service operations into over 175 countries, championed user privacy as a global human right, influencing EU and international data regulation discourse. Cook's leadership reflects the delicate act of global corporate diplomacy, where brand values must align with the expectations of consumers and regulators worldwide. 3. Indra Nooyi, PepsiCo, sustainability and gender equity in global FMCG. From 2006 to 2018, Indra Nooyi served as PepsiCo's CEO, where she introduced the globally influential concept of performance with purpose. Her vision expanded PepsiCo's product portfolio to include healthier offerings and aligned its global operations with environmental and social sustainability goals. Highlights: increased revenue from international markets, including strong growth in Latin America, India, and Africa, implemented water conservation, sustainable packaging, and women's empowerment initiatives globally, set a precedent for ESG-driven leadership in the global consumer goods sector. Nooyi's leadership is a textbook case of stakeholder capitalism in action, harmonizing global profit generation with sustainable development. 4. Mary Barra, General Motors, EV transition and mobility innovation. Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors since 2014, is the first woman to lead a major global automaker. She has spearheaded GM's transformation from a traditional automobile manufacturer to a sustainability-focused mobility company. Global initiatives. Announced GM's plan to sell only zero-emission vehicles by 2035. Led massive EV investments globally, including in China and Europe. Promoted diversity and inclusion within GM's international workforce. Barra's vision positions GM as a global player in green transportation, a critical area in the fight against climate change. 5. Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan Chase, Global Financial Stewardship. As chairman and CEO of J.P. Morgan Chase, Jamie Dimon commands one of the largest and most globally interconnected financial institutions. His leadership spans crises, including the 2008 financial meltdown and the COVID-19 pandemic. Global contributions advocated for global financial regulation to enhance systemic resilience, expanded J.P. Morgan's operations into over 100 markets, promoted inclusive finance, including access to banking, for underbanked communities worldwide. Dimon's long-term vision illustrates the strategic foresight and stabilizing influence that global financial leadership demands. 6. Andy Jassy, Amazon Cloud Domination and Global Commerce. Andy Jassy, current CEO of Amazon and former head of Amazon Web Services AWS, has been instrumental in building AWS into the world's dominant cloud computing platform. Under his guidance, Amazon transformed from an e-commerce platform into a global infrastructure provider. Global scope. AWS powers government services, businesses, and startups in over 190 countries. Amazon's logistics and warehousing networks operate in Asia, Europe, and South America. Jassy advocates for digital equity and low-cost cloud innovation for underserved regions. Jassy represents a new generation of global leaders who blend technical expertise with digital infrastructure diplomacy. 7. Sundar Pichai, Google Alphabet Ethical AI and Global Access. As CEO of Alphabet, Sundar Pichai leads one of the most influential companies in global information infrastructure. From YouTube to Android, Google's services reach billions worldwide. Key contributions. Leads initiatives for ethical AI, quantum computing, and sustainable data centers. Advanced internet access through Android, Chrome, OS, and global educational programs. Navigates complex global regulations around privacy, GDPR, CCPA, taxation, and misinformation. Pichai's leadership embodies digital diplomacy, blending innovation with the responsibility to uphold global rights in the information age. 8. Albert Bourla, Pfizer Vaccine Diplomacy and Global Health. Albert Bourla, Pfizer's CEO, played a pivotal role in the COVID-19 pandemic response, particularly in developing and distributing the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Global achievements enabled rapid approval and global dissemination of the first mRNA vaccine, partnered with global health organizations to address vaccine equity, enhanced Pfizer's role in health diplomacy, especially in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. Bourla's leadership transcended corporate goals. Pfizer became a symbol of hope during a global crisis. 9. Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX, disruptive global innovation. Although often controversial, Elon Musk is undeniably one of the most globally impactful business leaders of the 21st century. Through Tesla and SpaceX, he has redefined automotive, energy, and space industries. Global contributions. Tesla leads the global EV market with production hubs in the U.S., China, and Germany. SpaceX transformed global space logistics with reusable rockets. Starlink delivers internet to underserved regions, from war zones to rural areas. Musk's leadership exemplifies visionary, risk-taking, and technological futurism on a global scale. Teen, Paul Polman, Unilever, U.S.-based influence, ESG, and purpose-driven leadership. While Unilever is based in Europe, Paul Polman's leadership profoundly influenced American business practices, particularly in the ESG space. Global impact. Integrated the UN Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) into Unilever's strategy. Inspired American companies to adopt triple bottom line thinking. People, Planet, Profit, co-founded Imagine, an ESG movement with major U.S. corporate backing. Polman's influence highlights how global values-based leadership often transcends national boundaries and redefines business purpose. Conclusion: defining characteristics of American global business leadership. These leaders share several core competencies that define effective global leadership in business: strategic vision, clear global goals aligned with long-term impact; cultural intelligence, sensitivity to diverse markets, stakeholders, and communities; ethical responsibility, commitment to environmental, social, and governance (ESG) principles; innovation, agility, readiness to adapt, pivot, and lead through disruption; global systems thinking, understanding complex interdependencies among markets, societies, and ecosystems. American business leadership continues to shape global standards in technology, health, finance, and sustainability. These individuals demonstrate how leaders can serve not only shareholders, but also the broader global community through responsible, inclusive, and visionary enterprise.